Maybe this is again. Actually, maybe lunch before, because I know we'll be speaking.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
So, yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll head up to this and all that setup.
Oh, you don't, no, don't worry. I think that, yeah, I eat very quick.
Okay,
But
are you sure?
well, yeah, well, if you want to, but it's up to you.
Okay.
Don't mind.
What is?
Thank you. That's very kind.
Those cables are just on the face. No, thanks very much for coming by.
Having it.
Yeah, no. I was telling Richard, my team as well, that we have to meet Richard because last year on the 8th of August, such a good number, right? He called us select the blowout number. and then the funny thing was Jeffries from the US was calling the other way. You're going to disappoint.
Yeah.
And that guy was on the winning streak, right? Akash. Because he called Astra's Dato DXD, right?
Yeah.
So I was like really nervous. But we spoke and then we got really comfortable and thank goodness we got involved, right? But yeah, but now we come to
now it's getting hard.
Yeah. The setup is great. I mean,
yeah,
we've been crushed by the markets.
Yes.
Then B by Lily.
Yes.
Yes. Supply side, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I printed your note again. I just background.
Yeah.
As my CEO could just jump on, right, Thomas?
Yeah, perfect.
But anytime, maybe it's a bit of background, right, as to what do you think was driving the stock before? An example is like, I speak with Sachin a lot and Damo, right?
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, this whole Novo just works according to 2024 EPS. If it goes up, it goes up. This year, not even 25." So if you have supply bottlenecking, it goes up. If you have pricing issues or scripts don't look good, like just recently last Friday, right? It freaks out. I'm curious how it's so short-sighted, and then of course why Lily is doing so much better. And we realize that a lot of American funds have lots of Lily, not none of Novo. I'm hoping that might change with this pipeline, right? Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah. So look, I think. So we got to 1,000 on Novo just before. So we had at Q1 we had worries about pricing with Novo.
Yes, Q2 again, right?
And then Q2 again, and we have worries about volume at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So right now we have worries about volume and pricing again. Okay, around Q2, and that's weighing on the shares. But in between. After Q1 and before Q2, we hit 1,000, and I think
Capital Markets Day, right?
Capital Markets Day, but also at the time after that, I think Capital Markets Day may even be before Q1. So you then came up on, and we were seeing people, Lily investors, buying Novo to de-risk on the idea that a lot of Lily's price is related to orforglipron. So if orforglipron has a problem, or any of their pipeline have a problem, then clearly Novo will do okay, will go up, and Lilly will go down. And if they owned no Novo, then because they were playing obesity through Lilly, then that would be a problem. So we saw people basically de-risking their portfolios by buying some Novo. Now, I've also seen people who've done a lot of investing in Novo over the last, 5 years, and they have been buying Lilly on the opposite direction, okay? Because basically people want to play the obesity trade. And I think in the last few weeks, there's been a little bit of de-risking, but not much from people. So people have been buying Zealand a while back on the amylin.
Yeah.
But I think there's been a little bit of buying of Roche, Amgen, just in case those can be meaningful players. Now, I don't think Roche is going to be a meaningful player, but I think I think people want to play, in general terms, people are playing the theme,
yes,
not the individual stocks. And so then, therefore, if if they're doing that, then maybe there's been
It's a zero-sum game, right?
it's a zero-sum game. So therefore, not all money would come into Novo or Lilly if there are other options.
Oh,
Okay, so I think there's been a little bit of that.
yes.
I think so. Q2 was, and the difference between Lilly and Novo, and why has Lilly done so well this year on price or on their numbers?
Yeah.
Well, it's basically pricing.
Because they started at 450 net, right?
Right, so Chris shot.
Yeah.
I said to Chris at the beginning of the year, and he said, so they started at 450, and then he said, "Oh, I've got my obesity sales, I've got them in at 550." And I was like, "But mate, Novo's at 820 last year. It's not going to be that." He said, "I know, but I'm ahead of consensus, and I've got 550 in."
Yeah.
Like, okay. So then they beat Q1, but and they had a price, I think, of 550.
Uh-huh.
Or no, about 600. And so Chris went up to 600. Lilly. And then Chris worked out that the Q2 Lilly's price was 800.
What?
Yeah.
What happened? Whoa, I didn't know that.
So therefore, well, it's basically the same price as Wegovy. So essentially, why Lilly's been doing so well is because the sell side analysts and the consensus had really low pricing.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Now I don't know whether Lilly, and when I spoke to Chris, I spoke to him literally last week. He now thinks 800 for the rest of the year.
I thought Lilly was pricing down to gain volumes or to get into those formularies, right?
Yeah, correct.
How are they pricing up? It's a channel thing, is it?
Well, they're basically saying that they don't need to discount.
Oh, okay.
Right, because there's supply constraints.
And it's a superior product, right, for the time being.
It's a superior product in theory.
Yes.
I mean, not in theory on weight loss.
Yeah.
Or you've got obesity, you've got cardiovascular benefit, obviously, on Wegovy, which helps them somewhat.
Got it. And
then at the same time, Novo have more Medicaid exposure, so channel mix.
Yeah.
But also, I think Novo have decided before they go and see Bernie Sanders, because Lilly are not seeing Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
So there's the Senate hearing. Right. So if Novo are going to the Senate hearing and their average price is 800 and they go,
you're getting shot at.
You're getting shot at.
Yeah.
But if you then go in there and your average price is 640, right? And you've done a massive price cut, Q1 versus Q2 on the math. Lars can go in there.
This channel, right?
You can basically say, we're supplying Medicaid. Bernie, we're giving it away for basically free. We're selling lots of patients. I think they've done that. I think you'll find that the price will go up later on in this year for Novo.
Oh, okay.
But the other problem with Novo is in order to pre-trade the supply increase and the increase to Novo's total prescriptions, people were focused on the starter dose. So starter dose was the 0.25 milligrams.
Yes.
So the starter dose started at 6,000, and it's still restricted. But people were buying the idea that the starter dose was going up and up, but the total prescriptions weren't going up very much. They were just buying the precursor to that, which was the starter dose. Well, now they've restricted the starter dose. They've still got that just means that 35,000 new patients a week are starting. That still means that you're going to get good growth of the total, and their growth is actually relatively the same as Zepbound. So Zepbound last week was up 1%. TRX, so was Wegovy. So
isn't the Zepbound one a drop, like a shocker bad number?
Well,
shouldn't be the fact that they have unleashed the whole supply, right? Why is it growing 1%? I'm trying to make sense of this scripts as well, right?
Well, I think
it's a week to week.
I think there's a week to week variability. I think you're also not you should, but I mean they're on holiday, aren't they? Everyone's on holiday.
Oh, Yes.
Like, you're not going to start
Yes, on summer, right? Yeah,
right in summer. I think there's going to be a very, in summer you're on holiday, right? So you want to drink, eat. You've got yourself beach body. I mean,
yeah. Oh,
I think
okay.
you start the diet later on in the year.
Yeah.
But I think you will get a seasonality to this business. Like January will be immense.
After the Christmas turkey, right?
Yeah, because there's got to be an element of that
Okay.
before the doctors.
Yes.
Because at the moment you've got this.
Even the doctors on holidays won't be
The
prescribed.
doctors are on holiday as well.
Yeah. Okay. I was kind of worried that because before Lily reported,
Yeah.
I think the market was questioning whether it's like Nvidia, like is the obesity story over? We had to fight this theory
Yeah.
on the day of the Novo result.
Yeah. So I don't think it is. I think we're at the start still.
Yes.
I don't know whether the whole idea that we can go, the discussion of going to 150, 200 or whatever, I don't think that's a discussion we should be having at the moment.
Pricing.
No, market size.
Oh, market size.
50 billion, 200 billion. I think that discussion seems to have gone quiet at the moment.
All right.
And I think that's right, because let's just discuss about getting the near term going.
Yeah. Well, it depends on reimbursements as well, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, the reimbursement for the US is very, very good.
Yeah.
And 50 billion market for the US, 60 billion is not a risk.
Yeah.
It's not an issue at all. That's the 50 billion with price halving is still, that would be like, there's still only 18 million people market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Novo's scaling to way more than that.
Could you tell us about after you called Select right? And then the CKD thing hit in quick succession, right? It was overwhelming.
Yeah, flow. Yeah.
So we had two wins. Both are surely Medicare reimbursable stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the US, either the Congress or Medicare has been pushing back on it. I know they need to change. They need to change the law in order for that, right? Can you give us a little color as to what's impeding this? Do you need tirzepatide to show this like a blowout, like a 30% efficacy or risk aversion on
CV?
Yeah, on Select, the equivalent, and then or CKD. At what point does we reach a tipping point that they have to cover at least this kind of like chronic disease?
So I have seen, I think, CMS saying that they will cover the cardiovascular patients,
yes,
as you know, from Select. So if you're a Select patient, you fit this criteria of Select, and you are obese or overweight, you've got cardiovascular risk, you've had a prior heart attack, then you can be.
Oh, they use the prior heart attack as the
indication.
Yeah.
So I think that does come for widespread obesity use. I think you need more lobbying. I think Lilly will need to, if Lilly show a benefit as well, that would be helpful.
Are they due?
They are due next year, but not in obesity. They are due in diabetes. Obesity is like 27.
All right.
We don't have it in our numbers, so that would all be upside beyond. We don't even have yet the cardiovascular risk Medicare patients
for Novo,
or for anybody. Yeah. So we don't have that in the market size.
Yes.
So we do need to change that. It's like the next month's work is changing that.
So I saw the Venn diagram, right?
Yes.
3 large ones.
Good Venn diagram, yeah.
Which I'm trying to understand. We haven't even covered one of the petals yet, right? All 3 are still open. We don't have those in numbers, right?
Yeah. So we don't have obesity Medicare. We obviously have commercial Medicare, and we have Medicaid. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 50 million out of 110.
Okay.
Covered.
Got it. Okay.
And maybe with Medicare, it's like, but Novo don't have it yet. 3 million there. So 50.
You said 50 or 15? 50.
50.
50. Okay.
50 covered.
Okay. Got it. Okay. And then any problem with pricing in Europe? Because I saw their home cut the day before, right? Denmark cut their prices, and that actually set a very negative state.
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't worry about that. we assume 5% a year in ex-US, but they didn't have a price cut in Denmark for like 10 years.
Oh, right.
So you occasionally get a big price cut in one market, but that averages out to like -3 to 5 a year.
Oh,
So we have to think of ex-US price will only go one way, which is down.
yeah.
But you will get negative headlines, but it doesn't. It averages out to be not very much.
Okay.
Yeah. In Europe, what I would be thinking about.
Yeah.
We need to think about a lot of it is private pay.
Yes. Yeah.
So the question that we might be thinking is stay time with private pay. So, if you pay, and we've got this with one of our colleagues, he's lost, I don't think he'll mind, David Adlington, medtech guy,
Yes.
right? He has lost 20% of his body weight
In
6 months.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Right?
That's double the efficacy of the headline.
That is on Wegovy.
Yeah.
Okay. He's gone from 100 and a bit down to 80-ish. Okay. No real side effects. I mean, and he has, he's basically just eating less. So,
That saved his life. Yeah.
Yeah. But now, so it starts off in the UK at £150 a month at the moment, and then it goes for the highest self-pay.
That's a good price. Yeah.
And then goes to 200 for the high dose.
Oh, it's different pricing. Okay.
Different pricing, and that's the same in Denmark. It's the same, and Denmark obesity is all self-pay. So first of all, obesity is largely self-pay. You don't need to worry about pricing.
Yes, it's the T2, it's the diabetes.
It's the diabetes. So the diabetes will come back. So then, but the question he now faces is, what does he do? Okay, is he going to pay?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he going to come off, which he is thinking about? Is he going to lower the dose? And I know this is an N of 1. I know this is anecdotal, but I think we're going to be seeing this dynamic of, how long are people going to say? Novo said 90% of people in Denmark were still on after 1 year.
Yeah.
Right. So I think people will stay, but I think you're also going to see intermittent use in this self-pay market. So I think you'll see, which is probably not good for you.
Yes.
But you'll probably say
that's what Zealand is trying to do, right? Trying to say that we're going to get on and we're going to make our guys stay 3 years.
Yeah, and then you'll do maintenance with some of their stuff.
Yeah.
The problem I've got with that is that they need to prove that the maintenance is because on a reimbursed market, you're only going to get paid for maintenance if you have a cardiovascular benefit.
Yes.
So they're going to need to prove it. And there is some evidence that Wegovy has a very good effect on inflammation beyond its actual efficacy on weight.
Yes.
So you might think that it might, and we don't know. It's different if you're Lilly. Lilly has got a GLP-1, right? If you're taking an amylin, you actually don't know what amylin is doing outside of the weight loss. So you would get a benefit from weight, but do you get enough?
Okay, no problem.
So they have to show that.
But if we're going to go back, right? I'll leave these general questions later at lunch. We have, right? And I'll dive in them. But if you help us out a bit with the sentiments, right? Going into this key week and then this key month, right? Because the CB 202 is this month at the results. But how's the average long only position in Europe and in the US? Are you getting a lot more US questions now?
So on CB1, there are more US, but it's more hedge fund related.
Yeah.
So they are thinking it's a positive catalyst. Most people think it's a positive catalyst to the tune of about 5%.
Only 5%?
Yeah, 5%.
Because it's an interim read, right?
It's phase 2, it's interim, and you do need to worry a little bit or stay cautious maybe of safety.
Yeah,
The safety, I think, seems fine. I mean, talking to Martin
yeah.
at the results, he seemed to be pretty happy with the idea that in 16 weeks you'd be able to see safety.
Hmm.
And I don't think you say, I'm pretty happy that I could see safety in 16 weeks if you've seen it and it's bad.
Yeah.
I think you probably wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you say the Ramonaband had safety issues within 20 weeks, so therefore within 16 weeks we should be able to see safety. I think that means you haven't seen anything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, so I think it looks okay
Yeah.
from that setup because otherwise you would say something differently.
Hmm.
On the weight loss, there is a misunderstanding in the market.
Yes, I'm fearful of that as well. Yeah.
So there is a misunderstanding that people are thinking that the bar is 15% that you're going to see,
By week 16, right?
which you're not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, as you know.
Yeah.
So the 15 is a 52-week
Yes.
number. So you're going to be seeing somewhere between 6 to 9% weight loss.
You said 15%, but I read the transcript. It says 17 to 19, or was it 15 to 19? That's the target or model, right?
Different times they say different things. Which transcript was that? Was that that conference?
Yeah, the recent 2Q.
2Q.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That was where I put the orange, the purple star on it.
Yeah.
I put it at 17, right? Because I think he said something like 15 to 19.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it in the transcript, but what exactly was that? And when? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he said at least 15. I think he said 17 to 19. I've heard in the US with a meeting that was hosted by Pete Vidal. It's what I've heard.
This was actually on transcript.
That was on transcript. Okay.
So I would dig it out for you.
Then I think I'm trying to set the expectation at 16 weeks of somewhere in the region of orforglipron.
At 52 weeks, right?
At 52 weeks, 15 and above.
Yeah.
At 16 weeks, which we're going to get, 6 to 9.
So at 15, it would be like orforglipron, right?
Correct. Correct. But that's good enough for an oral.
That's good enough for an oral. Maybe one step back, right?
Yeah.
What that oral imicretin is obviously good, right?
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm looking to use for myself.
Yeah.
How come no one cares about it anymore? The transcript came out and no one cares. Is a scalability thing only? Or?
Yes. So people worry that the oral's not scalable.
Like oral semaglutide.
Like oral sema. I think it is.
Yeah.
But the way I understand it is it would be for high price markets.
All right.
Okay, so it's not that it could be orally scalable to the entire world.
Yeah.
It would be orally scalable to US, for example.
And it's actually made like a peptide, is it? Or
It is a peptide.
it is a peptide.
It is a peptide.
Okay.
And so it will use exactly the same technology as Ribelsis. So it's the SNAC technology. So the key thing with the SNAC technology is that they need to improve it to improve the bioavailability from 1% to 5%. Because if they manage to do that, they would be able to take the daily dose down
to
50 to, yeah.
Oh.
So then you go from 50 to 10, and then your gross margin is above 85%, and then it is completely.
But is it going to be the same molecules that goes into phase 3 or the improved version, or you have to redo the whole thing?
Good question. Good question. They would probably be optimizing SNAC, so they would have to do they may have to do
a bridging study.
May for the oral. I think they're going to move so the plan is to move all forms of amycretin into phase 3 eventually. So injectable, oral, and
All right.
Right. Yeah. And the injectable would give you much better scalability than CagriSema.
Oh, right.
So the aim is that it's the same as CagriSema, and so that ultimately it replaces CagriSema eventually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That solves the whole supply constraint, the existing.
Yeah, because it's a single peptide made in yeast, whereas CagriSema is 2 peptides, one not made in yeast. So your whole
Cagri is not made in yeast.
Yeah, cagrilinotide is not made in yeast; it's made chemically.
Oh, like the Lilly one.
like the Lilly one.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Well, then all these are subtleties, man.
But for the big picture, but think about but the franchise
Yes.
idea is CagriSema is important because it lengthens the franchise
Yes.
and
Probably give pricing power back. Yes.
pricing power back,
Yeah.
but also you need it to be better than tirzepatide because
Yes.
then you put Novo back in the
Leaf race. Yeah. The staggering, yeah.
and so then they're better. But then if you then have amycretin, you optimize that a little bit. But amycretin doesn't really change the big picture, other than that it might give you the most efficacious oral as well.
I see.
But yeah, people have forgotten about it because it's phase 1, and there will be phase 1 data this week for amycretin at EASD.
The abstract's out. Is there anything new?
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have the tolerability on it.
Oh, but people assume it's good, right?
Yeah, the tolerability in phase 1 may be a bit patchy.
Yeah.
So there may be a wobble on Thursday when they see that.
Oh,
right, because phase 1 can have higher nausea rates. So
because the numbers are not big enough, right?
Numbers are not big enough. They go for a slightly faster titration than maybe they needed.
Why doesn't this show up for Roche?
It will.
It will. Okay.
Yeah, that will be the same. So we're cautious. I mean, we put actually Roche on negative catalyst watch into
and this will hit already. Yeah. Okay. Even Novo. I before I spoke, I thought it was a breeze. It's not. It's going to be a wobble as well, right? Yeah.
It might.
Safety wise, yeah.
It may do. It may do.
But you're just on the cautious side. Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that we're not surprised.
Yeah.
But then you'll get a CB1 straight away afterwards, which will be positive. So I mean, if we're talking minute by minute,
yes.
Thursday might be a bit tough.
We have to contend with the whole Federal Reserve bullshit and the yen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're waiting for this, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. Novo's moves are way more because Novo's got itself into a category of stocks like Nvidia, right? Where it's in the growth basket, right? And the momentum basket. So as soon as there's something like you should be selling growth, then Novo. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
A lot of Novo's move is not to do with the fundamentals right now.
Yeah. And then it's two times Lilly, and I get it, right? People worry about US EPS, but not Lilly's,
Yeah, no, but Lilly was down at the same on Friday
I mean, Friday as well. What we constantly hear is that second half, everyone wants to rotate into laggards. And so whoever's done well in the first half.
That's Novo. Actually,
this is actually really good first half.
So constantly hear that.
Okay.
And from a farmer perspective, if you're, people are long Novo generally, not everybody, but people are. So then if they're thinking about getting more defensively positioned, then they're buying Sanofi or they're buying Novartis or they're buying Astra because they're cheaper, right? So they're adding to those positions. They're not adding to their Novo positions when they're really
despite the pipeline, right?
Despite the pipeline, because they're probably there. There is also a bit of a debate on CagriSema. Now, this is because people say, "What do you think of CagriSema?" and "What are the stock moves?" So that's the standard short-term hedge fund question. Now. So then you go
25%.
25% is absolute bare minimum. It has to be 25, and probably on 25.
And this is week what? So I I know. I didn't get it.
68.
Week 68. They're going to clear this for sure, right?
Yeah, but we want to stay at 25, but yes, they.
Oh, sorry. Why week 68? Because tirzepatide was week.
Tirzepatide is week 72 and
23
is week 68.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the reason for with tirzepatide to be week 72, which is 4 weeks longer, is they have a 4-week longer titration.
Oh, right.
Novo's titration is 16 weeks and Lilly's is 20. So they basically were saying we want the same length of time on the top dose.
I see.
And then we'll be comparable. That's why it's that time.
Does an election sort of affect this as well? Like,
No.
would there be money rotating out of the big pharma names just in the next 2-3 months?
Usually the muscle memory is that you come out of the pharma names ahead of the election.
But there's IRA this year already. Yeah.
But there's IRA, so maybe we're trying to say no, it's going to be fine because we know IRA. Yeah. Maybe there could be that. At the moment, it's taken over by the idea that everything else is horrible. Like, do you want to own LVMH consumer? Can you hide anywhere? No. So you buy pharma at the moment, but that can change.
Yeah.
But healthcare reform is not the Democrats. To your point, the Democrats have already released the prices on IRA, which were the hits. The hits were nothing. Most of farmers going, that's lovely. But saying it's terrible. It's terrible. This is unconstitutional. At the same time, going.
There's like the Chinese negotiation. Right?
Yeah.
We've said this so many times.
It's like brilliant. That's exactly what we wanted. It didn't hit us at all.
No, and a fun thing, Biden jumped out after Lilly dropped on the vials, right?
Yeah.
He jumped out the next day, put out a press release to take credit for it.
And it's ridiculous. The vial price is just at the net price anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Okay.
So there is worry, but so then people say, CagriSema, what happens if it's 22?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's down 10 then, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. And then what happens if it's 27? It's up 5 to 10 or something like that. Yeah.
Could you help me flip the page, right?
Yeah.
I was going to ask about this. Because I'm just trying to establish what we know about CagriSema already, right?
Yeah.
And it seems to be this blue diamond, type 2 diabetes, at week 32 was at minus 15.6%.
Yeah.
Was this large enough numbers? I mean, I just put this in I didn't put the end.
Patients, that is.
Oh, that's still small then. Okay.
Ish, but it should be all right.
But the fact that I looked at Lilly at the same time frame, or we don't have in the same time frame, but we have Lilly in the red triangle here, right?
Yeah.
And this came out during the results, and it was like they opened the champagne, you know. Remember, like Lilly had one results, and as a sideshow, they missed the results and they gave this type 2 diabetes type.
Yeah.
It was minus 13.9 by week 52.
Yeah.
And the stocks were at 10%, you know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that the metabolism of diabetics patients are severely damaged, right? So you should not be seeing data like this.
Correct.
If I were to extrapolate what the tirzepatide would look like at week 32, it would be, if it was linear, it was roughly here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess like CagriSema is a lot better, but is it really just 2.4 mg of cagrilinotide and 2.4 mg of semaglutide? Then the side effect why wouldn't it be cumulative? I mean, the variability will be tolerability will be lower.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Good question. So there's 1 or 2 people starting to ask about the tolerability.
Yeah.
So let's take efficacy first of all.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's relatively easy. So I haven't done this yet, but diabetes. So Novo think. First of all, let's go with what Novo think.
Yeah.
Novo think in diabetes they can do 20% weight loss at 52 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, 52 weeks, 68 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you get with tirzepatide, you said 13.9, I think, by the way, is per protocol, or basically with just the drug taken. I think it's 12 if you do ITT with dropouts included.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't realize.
So I'm always thinking about the dropouts as well, but you can compare it, right? But one is the total drug effect. One is like taking into account people discontinuing.
Yeah.
And CagriSema again is about 2 points less if you do it on ITT, but still you potentially get
2 points less at week 32, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 13.5.
Yeah.
But still you're on track probably for that in diabetes 20%, I think. So and Novo say in obesity that you're going to get 25 plus, as you said. Now, in phase 1B, which is this red curve, I think.
Yes.
Which is to the 17%.
Yes.
Yeah. That was you only had 20 weeks at that point, which is there. And 20 weeks of semaglutide on its own is about 10%. And we know that 10% will become 15% at week 68.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if cagrilintide does nothing else, you're going to get 7 points of extra weight loss on top of the 15, which gives you the 22. So the bare
doesn't improve further.
Doesn't improve further, which is not true.
Yeah.
Because cagrilintide on its own is probably going to do like 10.
Yes, it's still downward curve, right?
It's down 20 curve.
Yeah.
Then you get this 25 or 27, I think.
I see.
Is what you get.
Yeah.
Now, side effects. So I had a big debate with someone, long only, over the last 3 days about this. So the side effects on this diabetes trial, the nausea is 29%.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. This is diabetes. Okay. 29. The vomiting is about 10. And the diarrhea is about 90.
That's okay.
Something like that. Okay.
Diarrhea.
Yeah, a little bit higher than diarrhea, but not too much. Okay. Now, if you then compare that to Sema, Ozempic, then you're looking at about 24.
Yeah.
And about 7, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, on the vomiting, 7. So a little bit higher.
For an additional,
but I think reasonably manageable. And when we saw Martin at the Q2 results, I said to him, what's the efficacy? I said to him, well, how are you feeling about CagriSema? And he blurted out to me, he said, I haven't seen the data. Right. Really? So he clearly has, right? If your immediate reaction is, I haven't seen it. By the way, there's a backstory to this as well. So I said to IR, clearly you've seen blinded, you're seeing blinded data as you go now, and you've got 1 year, and placebo we know is like 3%, and so you'll be able to know. So he'd obviously been told by IR that I think that they know what's going on. So he's like, I haven't seen it. Like, okay. So I think he has. Yeah. So then I said, okay, but are you happy with your previous commentary? And he said,
can you remind me what's the previous commentary?
Previous commentary is 25%, at least 25%.
That's very good.
Okay. And then it was actually Sachin.
Yeah.
Said, so what do you think about tolerability?
Oh, okay.
And he said slightly more.
Slightly more.
Okay. But it was slightly more. It wasn't. So I've been having this discussion with another long only about if you go back to this CagriSema data.
Yeah.
So first of all, if you go back to the phase 1 data, in the phase 1 data, there is like 70 to 80% nausea. Actually, if you go back and look at it. Okay. So that's quite high. And you'd be like, that's worrying.
And that was the right dose for already.
It was the right dose.
Yeah.
But it was quicker titration, slightly quicker titration.
All right.
Okay.
17 to 19, right?
7-0.
Oh, 7-0. I was thinking. Okay.
So I'm telling you warts and all.
Yeah.
But you don't need to worry about it because Martin has said.
All right. The commentary.
The commentary slightly.
Body language is confidence.
Yeah.
70 to 20.
Yeah. Right. So then phase 2.
The numbers are larger indeed.
Yeah. It's 6 patients.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 6 patients that.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
31 patients. Right. Type 2 is this 29.
All right.
Okay. Now that is very close to what Sema is.
I see.
Okay,
On a
now
large scale,
on
right?
a large scale.
Yeah.
When you look at SEMA 2.4, Wegovy,
Yeah,
Wegovy is 44 in obesity,
yeah.
and it is vomiting of about 15 to 20, I think.
Wegovy is 44?
Yes.
Well, why is that? I'm just
Well, that's what it was. That's step one,
all right.
right? But I think they didn't like tirzepatide used antiemetics, which are anti-vomiting drugs,
Oh, right.
in their trials, where I don't think Novo did. So the difference
How can
between
you play such tricks?
right, because
Yeah.
if you go back to Ozempic
Yeah,
and you go to the head-to-head Ozempic versus
yeah,
Lilly,
yes.
you get less nausea and vomiting than you do in a Novo trial.
It should have been this way because it's dual agonist, right? Yeah.
No. For Ozempic, if you go head-to-head with Ozempic
Yes,
versus tirzepatide, Ozempic, if you do cross-trial,
Yes, yes.
Ozempic has more.
Oh.
You do the head-to-head in the same trial, it's less.
I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think if you do cross-trial, that 29 looks good.
I see.
If you look at Ozempic in and I think there's another explanation. If you look at Ozempic or Wegovy in this Ozempic in this CagriSema trial, it's lower than the 29.
I see.
It's a lot lower.
I see.
It's like 13%.
Great.
Now, I think this is because of bias. Okay, so if you go into a trial and you know you're on Ozempic, some of the early trials you know what you're on,
Yeah.
then you go, well, you don't report minor nausea and vomiting. Whereas if you're on a new drug, you report it more. So I think that's and you ask for more reports because it depends how you ask.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Because you can ask the question, are you feeling okay? And they go, yeah. Or you can ask did you feel any, you can ask,
Yeah.
do you feel nauseous? And then people are like, oh yeah, perhaps I do. Right? So you can ask it in different ways. So I think from the commentary, it's all right. Okay, but slightly more.
I see. When do you expect CagriSema? I heard December.
Yeah.
That late? I thought it was October, November. No.
October, November is when the trial finishes. I think it's December.
Wow. So it's that's after Roche and Amgen, right? After Amgen.
After Amgen.
Oh, that sucks. Amgen is scary. Okay. Well, Roche was even worse. Okay, Cagri is December. And what CBO1, right?
Next month.
Next month.
As in
At the results.
now. No.
Oh, within this month.
Within this month. In the next month.
I'm just trying to understand this strange Danish stock exchange thing, right? They tend to put out stuff with 1 hour trading left.
Yeah.
Once they receive it, they have to put it out, right?
Correct. Yeah, so it could become middle of the day. Yeah. Could be so if I know Novo, you'll want it after Cagri, amycretin's this week.
Yeah. Thursday.
So it'll be next week. Maybe Friday, depending on the share price reaction. If Novo's down on Thursday, then it'll be Friday, probably, potentially. I think it's close to having got it. It'll be any time this month.
They wouldn't hold it till results, right?
So there's a good question.
Yeah.
If they deem it not meaningful, then they can hold it to results. But I don't think an obesity phase 2 is
small molecule is
not meaningful. So I think they will have to judge it's meaningful. So I think it will have to be out. Now, secondhand, so not from them, but apparently one of the IRs was in the US at Stanley, and he was saying to investors, it'll probably be this month because it's probably meaningful.
All right.
Yeah. So I think it's this month.
Cool. And then back to how the stock trades, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to shut off this 2024 EPS driver? Do people get distracted from that, or that's still like 90% of the stock driver,
No, I think we're into the catalysts. I think the way it's going to trade in the second half is catalyst, but we can't, it's not only that. I think it's not necessarily even the EPS. It's more
Sales.
It's more
Pricing.
subscription.
Oh, subscription.
Subscriptions and Wegovy. So Wegovy can't miss. So if Wegovy misses at Q3, we're going to have another
Scare. Yeah.
yeah. Right. If Wegovy is fine at Q3, the difficulty they have with missing or not is now they will probably be okay because the last price, despite Novo saying don't take the last quarter's price, right?
Yeah.
Say every time, everyone just takes the last quarter and
There
extrapolates.
was a -7 points of the whole year rebate crunch in
Correct.
there, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you do the last price, it's about 650. If people put in 650, then they've got a chance of a beat, and you've got the ex-US sales. So the difficulty with Wegovy is because there's not loads of ex-US. Ex-US is where no one can model.
All right.
So as you have a large amount of ex-US and no supply, then they always beat you ex-US because everyone goes conservative. Whereas at the moment, Wegovy is 90% the US. So we can see the prescription trends.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to know broadly.
IQVIA only refers to US trends.
Correct.
Yeah.
So everyone always broadly knows the prescriptions. So it's literally prescriptions times a price. So if you get the price wrong,
Yeah.
they're going to admit that, and you've not got much ex-US, there's really no leeway.
All right.
So yeah.
I was under the impression that Novo is a bad risk reward in every result. Maybe we've gotten used to it. That was why
I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right again.
And the reason why I say so is because you're going to see the volumes. It's transparent, right, to the expectations. But the pricing, because the channels they are the first one broadening out. Not Lilly, they are the first one. And they always don't mellow the pricing down, right? So you're always going to miss slightly on the pricing.
But you're quite right, because nobody takes their word. We model the price down.
Yes, but you guys are the top 3 guys who knows it, right? And no one else
does it. So
or the generalists don't care. They just look at the
exactly. They look at the Bloomberg number, and the Bloomberg number's then too high, and therefore then they miss. Yeah, so I think you're probably still right on Q3 now, actual numbers. Let's see how it trades.
Yeah. No, but I'm concerned this time they screw us all over. It's
going to go the other way. Presumably what's going to happen is that they've lowered the price because of Bernie Sanders. And
right.
Be better. Probably.
Yeah.
But that's a guess at the moment.
Sorry, they've lowered the price of Bernie Sanders, but the reported result will be better than that because everyone else has put.
Well, everyone will put the 650 in. Right, and possibly, and then they'll come in at 750 or even 800.
That will be the first time they beat it 3 quarters or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Have we gone through something like this last year? I don't recall anything like this, right?
So the problem with last year was it's the same as Lilly. Lilly this year we all had too low price. So the price
starts revising up.
Less
rebates,
less rebates than expected.
Yeah.
Whereas now we have an anchor price at the beginning of the year of 820, and then they're below. So then every time you go below, then they miss. So plus, Lilly took Novo this year decided that they would put a high guidance out at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to pre-announce or beat throughout the year. So they put a bigger guidance. Yes. So if you remember the full year results, there was the expectation of 20% growth.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
21, 22. They then guided with a midpoint of 25, 26, and an upper end of 27.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah. And they think that they're still beat and raises coming.
And they think they're still beat and raised. Whereas they have raised the guidance by a point.
Yes. Then you have to play the game.
But it's a point. Whereas people and also Novo, the expectation always with Novo is that they hit the top end of the guidance.
All right.
Whereas they seem to be
anchoring
more to the mid at the moment.
Oh.
So at the moment, I can't get beyond the mid of the guide. I mean, maybe the ex-US is better. Yeah. But I can only get to 25.
So what is the range again?
The range is 22 to 20. Wait a second.
Yeah.
So, the midpoint is 25 on the top line. The top is Yeah, it'll be 22 to 29.
27, 29.
Yeah,
Oh, that's super wide, huh?
yeah, super wide.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so your numbers are tracking into the mid.
22 to 28, sorry, because it's 3 points either side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are tracking to the mid, right?
We're tracking to the mid. I can't get above that.
Okay. I see.
So consensus is a bit higher than that.
Hmm.
Than we are.
Oh, that's why the stock's suppressed. Yeah.
That's why the stock's suppressed. And then Novo are super comfortable with the midpoint of the guide, right? Because they basically said we're going to go 25% in the so they're probably going to do, they may do a bit better than our number, but we can't see it at the moment.
And last time during the results, right? I know it's a conscious of time, right?
No.
Emily had the first question, and the stock went down 4%.
Oh yeah.
And it was recovering, and she crashed it, and she totally wasn't expecting it. She said something like, "Are you expecting your low doses to get the bottleneck throughout the year?"
Yeah.
I said no, right? We would expect the same thing to last the end of the year. So what happened back there? I said, what are they thinking? What do you understand? Why Lily is able to lift everything,
It's two different strategies.
Yeah.
So Lily are doing growth of supply. So they have supply.
Yes.
And then they're out. And then they build supply up again, and then they're like that. Out, then they're like that.
Yeah.
Novo wants to do that.
Oh, right. Everyone needs to be stocked for the whole year.
So if you start, they want to make sure that you've got all the titrations to be available. So they're only supply constrained on the 0.25.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying, okay,
they're gaining the number of people coming in.
Correct.
But yeah.
Now, who wins? Well, from that graph, it looks like Lilly win in the short term.
In the intermittent, right? Yeah.
Because they have more supply.
Yeah.
Right, but Novo catches to the same point, I think. Right, so I'm not sure Lilly or Novo win. I think maybe Novo. It's too strong to say they win in the long term at the moment. But what they are scared about is physicians and patients going, I can't get drug once I've started it, so therefore I'm never coming back. I think they're more concerned about physicians.
That was what happened last year, right?
Correct.
I see.
So but Lilly don't care. There is also another thing. Lilly are focusing pretty much all their efforts on the US market.
Yes.
Whereas Novo are trying to
get people started, right?
Everywhere. So they're not focusing all of their supply.
Yeah.
Plus, the other thing with Lilly, it's really interesting if we look at the Trulicity sales have been way worse.
Yes. And
right?
no one cares.
And no one cares. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a bit of a nil-sum game, actually. But anyway, never mind that. So what they've done is reallocate pen supply from Trulicity clearly to
the pen was the gating factor, right?
The pen's the gating factor. Whereas Novo, you can't do that because the US pen is not the same for Ozempic or for anything else because Wegovy in the US had this new pen.
Oh, right, I see.
So their supply for the US is not gated in the same way.
Right.
In the short term but I still think that they're on for 300 at least 1,000 scripts by the end of the year. It looks like they're basically growing 1 to 2% a week.
Okay.
Total scripts, but it doesn't give you a beat.
Yes. Okay.
Now next year, are you going to get 25% growth again?
Yeah. When do you expect the 0.25 to be lifted? Because, I thought we were done with this scare. Then the headline flashes across pertaining to Europe only, and the stock wave it for a while.
Yeah.
So it still matters, even if it's not the US market. Maybe it was macro, it's too noisy to tell.
Yeah.
But why does it still matter? Like something ex-US, Supply, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure that we are. I mean, if we go back to being, the root cause is Novo is not beating numbers.
Oh, right.
So to a certain extent, Sachin's right?
Yeah.
In the sense that you've got a high multiple stock and people were playing for beats.
Yes.
And in particular, you've actually missed Wegovy.
Oh, right.
So I think the stock would be fine if Wegovy
Was okay.
was okay.
Yeah.
Right, because that's the focus. So if Wegovy meets numbers for the rest of the year, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Right, we just got to stop missing those numbers.
If you remind me, right, what caused the miss last time was supply, right, and pricing at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Wegovy only. Yeah.
Yeah. Ozempic was fine, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It was also a slight miss.
It was a slight miss. So then that was ex-US.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So the problem is ex-US, they haven't got enough supply. So it's basically, ultimately it's supply. And we don't have a huge, Novo have given limited colour.
Okay.
Other than basically saying we're very confident we can hit 25% growth second half, which, as I say, I mean, the supply must be improving and it must be improving ex-US. Otherwise, I don't see how they can hit that.
Just two more questions.
Yeah.
One is regarding CagriSema, and then the last one is just general trading. How would you play it when, right?
Yeah.
But on CagriSema, let's say it was 27%, right? We got a bull case.
Yeah.
And we get approval sometime mid or 3Q next year. Let's say that happens. Do they solve the supply because it's half sema and you immediately could ramp up? You can transit people over, or let's say there's a lot of demand for CagriSema. It's the current best in class, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going to face, because the dose is the same, so actually you don't get an uplift. If you are short on semaglutide, you're also short on CagriSema. And to make it even worse, your new gating factor is cagrilinotide. You may not have expertise because you've been building this in the recombinant protein way, right? Lilly has somehow solved this, right? Maybe with Chinese CDMO help. I'm just trying to understand is CagriSema a game changer in supply terms, or we're going to be teetering along shortages again for the whole of 25, 26? How do you think about this supply?
Supply shortages will continue for 25. Yeah, I don't think.
No, as in the new product, not semaglutide.
Yeah. So, well, you're not going to be launching cagrilintide. You're not going to be launching CagriSema globally. Okay,
so US only. Yeah,
it's going to be US only.
Yeah,
to start with, they will focus on the US. I did say to them last week, there's lots of worries about your supply. Because that's
which half of it? The CagriSema.
Oh, well, the whole lot. Whole product is worried. It's
a different pen as well, right?
That's where most people's concerns lie.
All right.
So they are in a situation. I literally said to them, people are saying you can't supply it. So what's the point of the data?
Yeah. It's not a semaglutide,
right? And they said, well, we've been scaling since 2021.
Which part? Like the whole thing?
Whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. They're not going to be able to supply it globally.
No, but if it's meaningful.
But if it's a meaningful for the US.
Like a tirzepatide launch, you don't think that's the case either, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't. I think they'll have enough to have a steep ramp. But I don't. Is there infinite supply?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
There's not infinite supply on any of it.
Because they are tight on sema, that's the problem, right?
Well,
to start with.
Yeah, I'm not sure they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they are and they aren't. I think they're tight on pens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're tight on pens for the US and they're tight on fill finish.
Yeah.
Filling the pens in the US. And then ex-US, I think they're tight on pens.
Oh.
I think on sema, they haven't got infinite sema, because if they had infinite sema, then they'd be pushing Ribelsis enough.
Or if, let's say, the CagriSema uses only 1.8 of Stammer, then we know that suddenly if you shift a new product, you're
Yeah, no,
30-40% more capacity, right?
yeah.
It's not that,
It's
right?
not that.
It's one for
Your
one.
top dose is 1 for 1. So that doesn't help that. What you might do is more people with CagriSema might stay on lower doses. So that might help you. But then the complexity of the supply chain is such that they have to work out what pens they want to produce.
Yeah.
And I think you have to assume they produce equal amounts of all.
At this moment, you can't pre-mix it, right? It has to be kept in different chambers.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be different chambers.
Yeah.
They're tight-lipped about the pre-mixing. They are working on it.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
But they're tight-lipped about it at the moment. So I think we can't rely on that.
Okay, got it.
Now, if they have an announcement, let's say, and we've worked out the shares would shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, then that could be a
Huge, yeah.
That could be a 5-10 move.
All right.
On that,
Okay.
probably.
Then just the last part, I know 2 minutes, right? But what's your trading thought or summary here, right?
Yeah.
The 3 and 4Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So broadly into CB1, I think it's positive.
Yeah.
As I say, amycretin, we may see some slight wobble on tolerability on Thursday, but I think that to trade that and then CB1 is difficult. So CB1 next month, I think, is positive.
Yeah.
Then you've also got Q3-ish. You've got the Soul trial, right? And you've got
Soul trial. What again?
That's Ribelsis CBL.
Oh yeah.
But
no one cares. Yeah.
Then in Q and then the results depends where we are. Depends what share price.
Yeah.
We are, right? If we're 950, let's say at that point.
Yeah.
Then I think your risk reward into the quarter is more challenging, but you have to see you've got to see what the previews come out with. Right? It will literally be what are the Wegovy numbers.
Yeah.
If you see some people below, some people, that's going to be a challenge.
I thought they would. Everyone was trying to tone down the Wegovy this time.
Yeah.
And yet they came in below or in line, and people freak out on the Bloomberg headline.
Yeah. So I think you've got to watch. You've got to watch that very carefully. Difficult to say the risk reward there, but then after that, you would think that would be a buying opportunity. I mean, it is a buying opportunity, right?
Yes.
Then CagriSema, I think, is December.
Yes.
But you've also got the NASH data, which should also be positive. The Essence trial.
Oh, right.
And then the question after that is, what do you have in 25?
Yeah.
So then you've got type 2 diabetes obesity data, the redefined 2,
yes,
which would be able to show you sort of that 20%-ish weight loss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in a
big one.
diabetic, so that would be big. Then we don't want to talk about it at all if possible, but there is the Alzheimer's trials.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about, we want to keep that really low.
Low profile, yeah.
Yeah. Then second half next year, so then you get some more diabetes data, so pure diabetes, and you get head-to-head versus tirzepatide data.
Oh, yes.
Right, in diabetes. So if you beat tirzepatide, I think that's quite interesting.
All right.
And then, but in the second half as well next year, you've got orforglipron data.
Oh.
So people, I think, are going to position Novo next 6 months to next 9 months.
Then Lilly again.
Then they'll position Lilly into orforglipron broadly.
Lilly, I heard orforglipron's April, May. Yeah.
Okay. So but then if there's a side effect on orforglipron, I mean, then they're toast. But you wouldn't expect that.
Yes.
You're not expecting liver enzymes. There was one liver enzyme in phase 2, so we'll have to see. But you wouldn't expect.
Great, thank you so much, Richard. We covered everything.
Good to see you.
No, thank you so much for your insights.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Wow, you probably you're the equivalent of the NVIDIA analyst now.
Oh well, there's some volatility when everything
No, no,
I'll leave it here.
no, just for you. Yeah. In fact, I printed a new
Yeah, no, that's all good.
page. I wrote on my own. Oh, no, I'll tear this for you, and you can have it.
No, this is good, this is good.
Oh, is it?
I've got one in my background. We've
Okay.
got one, but it's not published.
Okay. Oh, no, that's great. We'd love to see this.
Yeah, we've got an analysis very similar, but we haven't had a chance to. Thank you. Yeah, you have to be very careful. Yeah.
Hey. Just gonna stop this now. Thanks a lot, Joyce.